Right, for the final one, I want to do something a bit more abstracty. So I think what I will do is create a more exaggerated illustration. With loads of overlapping, and obviously the main criteria here is the long petals, like so. And I think I will keep it at that. Okay, same thing, I'm going to use the kneadable eraser and take off most of the graphite, and I will see you during the watercolor process. I was convinced I was filming, but I'm not sure what happened. So basically I have lined out the pencil illustration with my carbon ink pen, which has, this is platinum, and it has a carbon ink inside, which is waterproof. And that was to create a more crisper, more modern kind of illustration style, just to change things up a little bit, because here I don't have that style repeated, and it's going to be somewhat similar to that black pencil and the graphite pencil. Is it graphite? No, the black fine liner. So that's where I was going with it, just to keep things nice and exciting. And I have mixed Indian red, which is this color here, with brilliant purple to create this kind of browny purpley type of color. I can also now go in straight with the Indian red and just dab it into areas where I want it to be the darkest. So that's our head of the flower. So now we're going to focus on the petals. So the petals, let's see, what shall I mix up here? I actually quite like this mix. I'm going to add more of the purple, brilliant purple into it, and that will kind of, the Indian red will mute it down slightly, because it's supposed to be a fluorescent color. And if you remember from my previous video, these were updated to be light fast. So usually fluorescent colors are fugitive, and Schmincke has changed up a few things to make these light fast. So that's the fun part about it. Just mixing up a bigger bottle of this color here. I'm just going to dab in where I want it to be the darkest, like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. So technically I'm just using those two colors in this illustration, and it makes it more kind of harmonious. There's nothing else happening. So I might be a bit more experimental to find a third color for when I'm doing the spikes, and that will make the spikes stand out a little bit. At that point it could be like, actually a bit of gold, that would be nice. A bit of gold watercolor, yeah, I haven't used that in a long time, so that might be good because it's going to be on a darker background and it should look quite lovely. So that's it. I will let it dry completely and then come back to add the final detail and we'll have a closer look. Let's do that. So final part is to add a bit of gold. Now I went through my watercolors and I think this would be the most kind of suitable color. It's such a lovely champagne gold. It's a very light, so I think in a contemporary illustration it would work really well. So this one comes from the Coliro M600 Fine Tech watercolors and it's Moon Gold. So you can see the different golds right here. Some are a bit more yellow, some are a bit more darker, but I think this one works quite well. It's sort of, it's not really a silver, it's not you know, gold. It's like as if you would mix a bit of silver with a gold. It's like, yeah, just a light color. So to activate this actually needs a bit of water. And not much, a couple of drops, and I would let it sit before kind of, you know, trying to use some of this gold. Actually just one drop is plenty because you don't want it to be too watery, you want it to be quite strong. So I'm going to go to this corner and use more of the gold and less of the water. So let's see. It looks like a strawberry. So there we go. It's quite an interesting interpretation of Echinacea, and I will show you a close-up of all of them. So here is the actual flower, just to remind you what it looked like. And then here is a pencil in 4B drawing. Then we used a fine liner with this extra soft Pitt oil base pencil in black. Then we moved on to Caran dash, and this probably is my least favorite just because of the color combo. I wish I had other pinks here, and just, yeah, kind of not liking the color palette as much. But I think, to be honest with you, if I changed this peach here and went for maybe even more of this color, I'd probably like it more. But I do like the drawing itself, and I like how the pencil came out. I also have done little swatches here while things were drying, just to keep myself kind of remembering of the color way and also certain combinations of the art supplies. I didn't write down what they were just because I didn't want to make it quite a messy looking spread, but that should be enough to remember. Here we have the Rowney FW inks, and that was quite a fun little drawing there. Then very different was the gouache. This was honestly my first botanical drawing with gouache. I have to practice more. I really love when I see other creators here on YouTube creating and painting with gouache, especially flowers, but it's just such a different feeling to when you work with watercolors, and it requires a lot more practice because it's just such a new medium for me. And then there are two, probably, if I had to pick favorites, these three would be my favorite. So then we have this watercolor version, which has the gold in there, and you can see it's a neat little effect. And then this one was also a lot of fun and something I should try more, combining Tombow markers with a water-soluble ink, and it was a lot of fun. Beautiful color mixing, and I love how there's this beautiful medium mix that creates a beautiful pattern. I love how the patterns and the blossoms and the color mixing came through here when the Tombows collided together with the ink, and as well just amongst each other with a bit of water. So that was quite beautiful. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this lovely long session of botanical exploration of the Echinacea flower, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon.